In 5 minutes, Houston directs Bogart in the comedy thriller Beat the Devil, also starring Jennifer Jones, Gina Lollobrigida, Peter Lorre and Robert Morley. Now, at just before 4 minutes to 7, the news summary from Peter Snow.
Good evening. The main stories tonight. The EEC summit has closed in Brussels, with the British and French still arguing. The Navy are sending a second ship to help in the Falkland Islands dispute, and the low-budget British film Chariots of Fire sweeps the board in the Hollywood Oscars. Now, these and other stories with subtitles. The EEC leaders have ended their two-day summit in Brussels, with Britain and France apparently as far apart as ever. The major difference between them is over a new formula for Britain's budget contributions to the community. The French won't accept the formula, and the British call this reaction a bolt from the blue. The Navy have sent a second ship, a Royal Fleet Auxiliary oil tanker, to the Falkland Islands. Today, the Foreign Secretary Lord Carrington announced a review of security in the islands. He said Britain regarded the presence of a dozen Argentines on South Georgia as illegal. But he added that a solution to the dangerous situation could only be found diplomatically. The American space shuttle Columbia and its crew has landed safely in White Sands, New Mexico. It was the shuttle's third time in space, but the first time astronauts have had to delay a landing. Yesterday, NASA called off the landing at White Sands because of high winds. The government may decide to introduce curfews to keep young offenders out of further trouble. The Home Office is considering a proposal by the conservative backbencher Nicholas Lyle. In El Salvador, political haggling is still going on after the inconclusive election there. The government won more than 40% of the vote, but failed to gain an outright majority. 5 right-wing parties now want to form a coalition government, which will probably be led by Major Robert D'Aubuisson. French police say that the explosion on the Paris-Toulouse Express near Limoges last night was caused by a bomb, but they say they still can't rule out the possibility that it went off accidentally. 5 people died when the bomb went off, completely wrecking one of the leading coaches. A policeman shot while driving through West Belfast is seriously ill with multiple chest wounds. A man was making a regular journey through the Springfield Road area when 4 men, armed with handguns, opened fire. The attack happened just 50 yards from the Springfield Road Army observation post. The British film industry is celebrating the success of the low-budget Chariots of Fire in Hollywood. Chariots surprised Hollywood and many critics by winning Oscars for the best film and 3 other categories. Finally, on Newsnight tonight at 10:50, the extraordinary tale of how America brought the world to the brink of nuclear war, telling only one of its allies. Charles Wheeler examines new revelations by Dr. Henry Kissinger. And former Prime Minister Edward Heath tells how the lessons of that crisis have not been heeded to this day. Join us for Newsnight at 10:50.
Look at the weather now. A touch of frost is likely in a few places tonight. Tomorrow, after rather a chilly start, will be dry just about everywhere with sunny intervals. The southeast of England, as well as the north of Scotland, may, however, have the odd light shower at first. Temperatures will be generally close to normal and a little higher than today's, reaching 10 centigrade, that's 50 degrees Fahrenheit, although there will still be a rather cold wind in East Anglia and the southern parts of England. Tomorrow night, BBC2 begins another showing of Dr. Jacob Bronowski's celebrated documentary series, The Ascent of Man.
At what point can we say that the precursors of man become man himself? That's a delicate question. Such changes do not take place overnight, and it would be foolish to try and make them seem more sudden than they really were, or to argue about names. 2 million years ago, we were not yet men, but 1 million years ago, we were, because by then, there appears a creature who can be called Homo. Homo erectus. Every animal leaves traces of what it was. Man alone leaves traces of what he created.
The Ascent of Man, a personal view by Dr. Jacob Bronowski, begins tomorrow at 6:45 on BBC2. A comedy thriller set in the Mediterranean. Now on to as Houston directs Bogart in Beat the Devil.
Ragazzi!